Hello, everyone, and welcome back to Tuned In with Kal and Lak. First of all, Lakaya, how are you?
My throat was killing this morning.
I wonder why.
Hmm,
Hmm.
Nothing sexual, but we saw Beyonce yesterday. We saw Beyonce literally a few hours ago, it seems like.
Hmm.
And oh my god, wow.
Have we got some things to talk about
We
today? I mean,
did.
if it isn't obvious, we're talking about the Renaissance tour. This was her final date in London, in a city where she's done 5 shows. So she's done, I think the most she's doing anywhere else is three, which is in the USA. In
Mhm.
no other city for this whole tour will she be doing 5 shows. As it stands right now, obviously things could
Yeah,
change, but right
yeah, yeah.
now London has the most dates, and she really, really, really put on a show for us. I mean, I know so many people that have gone. We ended up going to the final London show,
Mhm.
and yeah, we've got a lot to unpack.
And by the way, me and Khalifa literally haven't, even though we went to the same show, we went together, we haven't spoken about it. We're literally
Not at all.
getting out of the venue. There was no time to talk because we were just like in a queue with thousands of people for like
Mm.
hours. We got home at like 1 in the morning. So
Yeah, we haven't had a time to really chin wag or wrap it up.
yeah,
So now really is the opportunity. I have no idea like what Lakai's thoughts are. I'm sure he has a slight inkling of what I think, but it's time to really kind of get down to the nitty gritty. So
yeah.
take it away.
We need to do a disclaimer and we need to let people know that are watching this. We were late. We were late to the motherfucking show.
We were.
And I think that's so, I mean, it's annoying, but it's so unfortunate because we now, I've obviously looked at the set list, but before, both Khalifa and I, we had no idea what any of the songs were going to be. We
Mm-hmm.
didn't know anything because, like, if you watched our last episode about Paramore, like, I knew the set list, Khalifa didn't, and I wanted that experience. I
Mm-hmm.
wanted to go in and just, like, go in blind and be like, oh my god,
And when
wow.
Lakai is saying we knew nothing, I mean we unfollowed Beyonce. I unfollowed all of her fan pages. Lakaya muted her on Twitter. I'm not on Twitter, but if I was, I would have done that as well. I knew absolutely nothing. I slipped up and I found out what the opening song was because I looked on someone's story, but literally everything that came up on my timeline in my feed, I just swiped very quickly past. I had no idea what the vibe was, nothing. Really did not know, and we
The
both did
only
that.
thing I knew was because I saw on Facebook. The only thing I knew was that she wasn't doing Halo and she didn't do Single Ladies. That's the only thing I didn't
Mm-hmm.
know. I mean, that's the only thing I knew that she about the tour. And I did like see like snippets of like some silver outfits, and I would swipe past so fast. Like I know. And I
Mm-hmm.
knew that Blue was went on stage on one day. I think it was in Paris. She went on stage maybe the first time. I don't know, but that's the only thing I knew.
Mm-hmm.
So we're late.
Unfortunately. We are, unfortunately, as much as I tried my best to get us there on time, I live very, very far from the stadium, obviously
What
in
time is it?
London.
Yeah.
And, there were some people in our camp that were just, yeah, just didn't have the urgency that we needed to have when getting ready and getting out the door. So, unfortunately, we were late. And we were actually arrived at the stadium whilst my favourite Beyonce song of all time was being performed, I Care. And yeah, that was really really upsetting. And I think had it not been such an amazing show, could have really put a dampener on it for me because it's my favorite song. She does it often, but still getting to see it live is something that's so precious to me. And to miss that of all things was insane. So we missed that, and we missed like the bulk of the Tina Turner tribute as well, which is also a big shame.
Yeah, so the opening songs was the obviously you knew it was Dangerously in Love.
Hmm.
Which what?
Yeah, this is the thing. Like, I remember seeing that and just thinking, like, dangerously in love of all the songs, and not in a good or bad way. I think it's great to revive some of the old classics. I absolutely love when artists do that because otherwise you just kind of hang up your hat on them. Like, I'm never going to hear the song again. She's never going to do it. And so, if you're a really big fan from like back in the day, you were at school when Beyonce was at school, and Dangerously Love was your favorite album, to for her to cater to that. Old school 25-year-old fans, whatever, fair play. I love that, and I know that she would have done it in a style that made it in keeping with the theme of the show because there was another
Have you
song
not
she did.
have you not seen any of the clips yet?
I have, yeah, I've seen
Okay.
I've seen a few, but I haven't seen like the whole thing. But I know that seeing the whole thing would have made it make so much more sense with the rest of the show, because the show we'll get into the theme, but it was very kind of disco and party and like house and bounce. It was a party. It was a party from the start to the finish. And there were other songs she did as well that were like, what if I remember? I know if I'd seen it on the set list, I would have been like, what? Like Rather Die Young.
Honestly, I looked at if I not even that, but like so it started with Density in Love, then it went into Flaws and All. Flaws and All. What the fuck?
Mm, of all the songs,
What?
yeah.
That would have literally I wouldn't have believed that if I saw that on the set list. I would be like, okay, someone's just like having Flaws and All on the Renaissance tour. Like obviously we didn't get to see it, but that just sounds so out of place for me.
Mm,
Like I just think it's so random. And then it went into I think 1+1.
yeah.
And then there was the Mary J. Blige cover,
Hmm.
I'm Going Down, which
Well,
I'm sad.
it would have been, but she replaced that with the Tina Turner tribute.
Oh, okay.
So yeah, so that was replaced. So a few things kind of swapped. So she went into I Care and then into the tribute, where it previously, before Tina passed away, it would have been the Mary J. Blige cover and then into I Care. So there were a couple of things changed to accommodate, Queen Tina, and I'm so happy for that. We talked about this before, whether she was going to do a tribute. I knew factually that she would. She is a super super mega fan for her whole life, and I think it was beautiful that she did that. I did get to see part of it, and I was, yeah, the emotion was high. It was really really nice.
So let's just get into the part that we did see. We
Hmm.
missed, and the show was split into a few sections. I've got them on my phone. I think that was called the songboard, storyboard. Wait there, let me 1 second. Okay, so it was split into the signboard. So we had Dangerously in Love, Flaws and All, 1+1. It says I'm Going Down, then I Care, then River Deep, Mountain High, obviously the Tina Turner tribute.
Hmm.
Our first like experience, the first song we heard was from the Renaissance moment, and she did That Girl, which like that was my favorite Beyonce song last year from the
Hmm.
album. So I was just so excited. We were in our seats, and I mean we were stood, but like we were in where we needed to be, and we was like, right, let's go, because we didn't know at this moment if we had missed a lot of the show. We didn't know if we didn't know.
Yeah.
So we're here, I'm That Girl, and the show begins for us. Like we're here. What do you remember? How do you feel, Khalifa? What's going on?
I just remember, like, obviously my spirits were a little bit dampened having missed some of the show, especially missing my favorite song. But that really did lift me up, and I think being there, especially as I know how much you love the song as well, it was just like the perfect song to get us like, right, get the energy up, let's go. And it was amazing. Like, I think her stage production was huge. Like, it was a huge production. She had like two screens that were independent of each other, were doing different things in the background. The screens opened, revealed all sorts of things. Like, it was so much to take in, and I just love the way that she incorporated, like, every single song had its own theme, had its own music video almost, which, like, come on, Beyonce, release them. Like, she pretty much made like a video or a storyboard or a visual component for each and every song, and so that was beautiful for I'm That Girl. And yeah, it was just such a good, like, just, to get the people
Yeah,
going. It was, yeah,
I did feel I was a bit annoyed and frustrated that we were late. But when I heard I'm That Girl, I was like, this is perfect. Like, this is my song. Like,
yeah.
I'm that girl. I'm that girl. Like, yeah, we were ready to go.
Hmm.
Then it went on to I don't know when to stop being subjective, like when to start actually voicing my opinions. Like I don't know whether to do it a bit later or whether to just like keep on.
Get it out, get it out.
I
Let's
want
get
to
it
say,
out.
okay, I just want to say, even from the first section that we missed, this, if I'd known the set list, I would have known that this is a show for you. And what I mean is that this is definitely a show for the Beehive. 100%. So
Fair.
your experience and your feelings are absolutely going to be different to mine because you are like
A super
huge
mega fan.
Beyonce fan. Like
Yeah.
you're in the Beehive, I'm not. But just I felt it. I was like, this is. in different moments in the show. I was like,
Mm.
this is for the Beehive.
The die-hard
And
fans, yeah.
that's not. I haven't subtracted any points for that. It's just an observation. I was like, this is
Mm.
absolutely Beyonce's like thank you, or I don't know, but it
Yeah.
definitely was for you guys. It's for
And I
you
think
lot.
not just the Beehive, but the LGBTQ plus Beehive community as well.
No, the Beehive. Just any
And no,
Beehive.
the Beehive as a whole, 100%. It was like, this is for my diehard fans who know all of my songs, even the obscure ones that
Yeah,
like weren't a single. This is
yeah.
for you guys. But also, there was so much homage played to the LGBTQ, and like, I don't even think you like, not you specifically, but people always realize. But even things she was doing with the lighting, messages that she was telling, like in the storyboards, like it was very much just like pride, just
Okay,
gayness and gay influence, and like a lot of that. And so yeah, there was a lot of that going
that's
on.
fair.
But yeah, okay, so I guess just kind of giving your overall experience then, as a person who's not, you're a like, you like Beyonce but
Yeah,
not
I
like
love
a super mega
Beyonce.
fan.
No,
What was your overall experience then?
I
Oh, big sip.
my overall experience, I had a great time. I
Hmm.
had a great time, and it was a really great show. Um, I had a great time. I really did. But
Mm.
I don't want to go there just yet. I want you to just talk. This was really, honestly, I said this to you before we went. Like, I was just so, I felt honored to be going with you. Like, I know that, no, honestly, like, I love going to shows with people when they're seeing their absolute fave, their act, their queen, they're like, who, I love that. And just knowing that that's Beyonce for you, I could love the song. Like, but it was more like Khalifa's having the best time, and I loved that. So that was so special. So I want to hear what you like before I might upset you.
No, like, this is the thing, like, you can't, so like, please do like share, because yeah, like, let's get it out.
I I think you have to be fair, Khalifa.
Hmm.
We, both me and you and I, we've made a set in stone, followed absolute law, Kal and Lak criteria. We
Hmm.
have.
Yeah.
I don't think Beyonce met the Kal and Lak criteria. I don't think she did, and I think if in your heart, take away the beehive, take in your heart of heart, you can't say that she met the criteria. I don't think she did.
Well, okay,
But
well, let's break down with the. I'm not saying she does or has or hasn't, because I haven't even had the time to digest that. To be honest, like, we literally showed, we were at the bloody stadium like 12 hours ago, so I haven't had the time to even think what the criteria is and what she did, like
yeah,
all of that. So based on what we've spoken about, then we talked about opening song, we talked about closing song, we talked about shows having like a beginning, middle, and end. Um,
that's what I mean. I think the set list was just not the one, and it did make me feel like I had a great time, but I
mm,
did feel like this could have been so much better.
mm,
Personally, like we said, she opened with Dangerously in Love. We didn't get to see it, but I still don't think that would have been the one to open with. And then ending on Summer Renaissance, no, no, that's not meeting the criterion. I know that that's the last song on the album, but that's not the song that people want to be
yeah.
going home singing.
You might
That's
be
not the
surprised,
one.
Lakaya, but I agree with you. I agree with you. I think the vibe of Renaissance is a party, right? It's like you're literally going to a party, and I I think that she could have really injected that party vibe into the show a lot more. I do understand that, obviously, because of the big massive production it was, like, there was a lot of elements, and obviously that means like a lot of transition. So I love that she gave all like dancers their shine. There was a moment for the band, which was sick. There was a Vogue moment that was really sick. And
That was
so I
amazing.
did really enjoy that. Like, when we were changing outfits and when we were changing the set and all of that stuff, it didn't feel like, okay, the show stopped, you can go toilet.
Mm.
It
Yeah,
still
yeah.
felt like the show was still happening, so I appreciate that. But I do agree that in terms of the set list, I think the sequence of the songs could have been more thought out in terms of leaving us on a really big high, because I think there was a massive crescendo when she did, surprisingly, Black Parade. Not to say that that should have been the ending song, but like the black pride that had, like, it was like overwhelming. Like everybody was had their fists in the air. It was just so overwhelming. And so I think something like that would have been better to end with, where
Okay.
everybody feels elated because it's a party. It's not a Adele show. It's not a Summer Walker. Like this is a
Mm.
we're all here in our silver hats and like cowboy gear and heeled cowboy spangly boots. Like we should feel like that when we leave. And I didn't fully feel like that. So I agree. I agree.
There's a few things I want to touch upon from what you just said. Firstly, like, round of applause to everyone because the girls showed up. Like,
Period.
Tottenham, London, like, UK, you showed up. Like, everyone looks so good.
Mm.
Thousands of hats, like, thousands of silver, pink, cow, like, so many hats. Like, there was just,
Not even just London. I'm going to give it to you because I would say that even though I didn't look at the show before, I did see outfits and I
yeah,
shared that with you. And it just
yeah,
like the Beehive, as you said, this really was a show for the Beehive, and I totally agree with that. The Beehive and its extending members, its extended family showed up. Like they really were coming to have a good time and a party, and they dressed on the theme. They really went all out, and I don't think I've personally, not just being biased, I've never seen that.
same.
I've never seen that for any other
And
concert, any other no one.
I think it's different from like, oh, I'm wearing the band's merch.
Yeah,
No,
no, it's not that.
this is a theme, and people were on theme. I've never seen that at a show
No.
before. Like a theme.
And
I've
it's not
seen,
even like, oh, we're all gonna wear green or we're all gonna wear
yeah,
purple. It's like I'm talking people have been planning like cowboy hats to go with their silver boots, to go with their silver belt, to go with their silver sunglasses. Like it's more than just a colour or a merch, as you said, a t-shirt. It's a whole ensemble that thousands of people have put together just for this one day. You're
yeah,
never going to wear this hat ever again. But you did all of this effort to not even necessarily be seen by the artist, but just to feel part of the community.
yeah.
I've never seen that, and so fair play to the
Amazing.
Queen because she brought the girls out.
She did absolutely amazing. Oh, there was something else that you said that I can't. Oh yeah, yeah, Black Parade. So, if we're talking about highlights for me, I said previously that like so excited to go with you. I know that Black Parade's your song. I know it's your song.
It is. It really is. And I
That
don't want
was
to turn into a Beyonce episode. I really don't because we're talking about the tour. But just one of the things that I love about her is how unapologetically black and proud she is. And it's just something that, like, I think as she gets older, she's just become more and more comfortable and more confident in being out and proud and black. And I just love that. Like, you don't really see that in any other artist. So, artists will make songs about, oh, the struggle and these things are going on. But, like, in terms of blackity black, black, blackity black, making songs about being black and about how amazing it is to be black and how blackness is beautiful. I just don't see anybody else doing it to the extent that Beyonce does. And then to perform Black Parade on an international tour in like we're talking like she's only done the European leg, so you're going to Sweden, you're going to Amsterdam, you're going to Spain, Berlin, Germany, London, and you're performing a song that says things like make a picket sign out of your picket fence, like talking about wearing dreads instead of like straight hair. Like you just don't see those things. Like it was such a statement of black pride, and oh, it made me really emotional. Me and my mom
now like
love that song, so we were going
goosebumps. That
crazy.
was probably, I think that was the highlight for me. Just seeing
Wow.
you. I think not even so much the performance, but just seeing you and your mom just like live, like really just having the best time living. You love that song, just like celebrating the song, like singing every single word. I loved that so much, and I think,
Same.
like I said, show for the Beehive because you could see a couple of hundred of people
Mm.
that knew that song.
Yeah.
Like it wasn't everyone, and you could
No.
just like see across that. Yeah, you know,
Hmm.
you know, you were definitely one of them. So I just loved that moment. That was a really like exciting thing to see. And it was a great performance. Like Blue came on stage, killed the
Killed
chorus.
it.
Like
Oh, for like for two songs that she did, My Power, which she's in the video for, killed the choreography, and for Black Parade, like she's just so adorable, and how lovely to involve Blue in that moment. Like it's incredible. I don't know if she's gonna be there for the whole tour because don't you have school, but she's just like already she's getting involved with mom's work, and I love that. I absolutely love that. So similarly for you, that was the highlight of the night for me. Black Parade was my favorite
Naturally.
moment, and it's not
And
even like
you,
my favorite Beyonce song, or even like, no, it was just what it meant. Like,
mhm.
just so many layers of meaning in that for me. And of course, me and my mom got to hear our tune. Like, yeah, that was incredible. So you talked about obviously the overall experience didn't meet the criteria in your opinion and in mine. In fairness, were there any low lights for you? Any like, don't love this, or this could have went?
Yeah, I think Rather Die Young. So she's like, "Oh, I'm gonna do a song from the Four album, which I love." Like, come on. So I'm like, "Okay, we're getting Scorn in Life. That would be perfect. Like, let's
Yeah,
go." And then she did Rather Die Young. Beyonce, why?
that's interesting because I thought you were really living for it at the
I
time.
we were. This is the thing. Like, I never disliked the show, and I had a great time throughout. I really did.
Mm-hmm.
And I was singing it, and like, why not? But why? To quote the Cardi B, what was the
What
reason?
was the reason? It's interesting you say that, but like, I think it worked. I think it
I don't think it
worked with
did.
the whole 70s, like kind of like slow disco vibe of the show. It really would work for me. Again, I think there are so many other songs that she could have done as well. She could have done School in Life, which I think would have worked just as well. But it was just a bit of the unexpected, and it's a beautiful
You know
song.
why I
Yeah.
don't think it worked? Because before that we had so this was in the anointed section. So we
Mm.
would literally started. We had church girls. We were all popping opposite to that.
Yeah.
Then we had Get Me Bodied. So we were like still dancing, still popping opposite. Then we had Before I Let Go. So now we're like, we're
Yeah.
dancing, we're grooving, and then Rather Die Young, and
Yeah.
then
I
Love
get
Will
it.
Come. Like, Beyonce, what you do? Like, why?
Yeah,
That
School in
makes
Life would have
no.
been better. After, like, we're still partying. It's still that old
Mm.
school kind of Renaissance, like, kind of nostalgic vibe. Even Party. I know that she infused the music of Party in places, but she didn't actually do Party. That would have been perfect to finish off Anointed. That would have been perfect. So I 100% agree. But I did enjoy it. But I do agree that a better choice could have been made. Agree.
Yeah, that was we both looked at each other like,
Like,
huh?
what? Of all the songs, yeah, it was really out there. I'd say, like, for myself, in terms of low light, and again, it's difficult because I enjoyed the whole show. I loved it. But I'm trying to think, was there anything that was like, I would say that as much as I appreciated, and I really did, the whole production of the show, budget, big banks hate little
Oh,
banks. Like, they really do. There were times where it's like it felt like a bit of a lull because of the time it took, I guess, to transition from one era to the next. And I understand completely that in order to make each era or part of the show segment or whatever feel different from the next, you're gonna need time to get the horse, get the truck and the whatever. But I
the
just
actual
think
truck.
literally
The
a
truck.
truck, like a whole truck. Like, you're gonna need time to put those things together, and I 100% agree. But I do, and this is me nitpicking. This is me because I know how excellent Beyonce is and how considered she is with everything. And I feel like for somebody of her caliber, she could have thought a little bit more about what was happening for the audience during those moments. I know the cast and the crew are working hard behind the scenes, like moving the truck and changing the outfits and all of that stuff. But I think just having a little bit more on stage entertainment, she did it at times, and it was perfect. The Vogue
Mhm.
moment, sick.
That,
We'll get
yeah,
into that.
the
We'll have a
Vogue.
whole section on
Yeah.
that. But like the bands doing their thing, like the saxophonist and the trumpet player and the drummer, that was sick. And I think each transitional period should have had something like that. I don't think there should have been moments where we're watching a screen for 2 minutes. As great as the visuals were, we needed to keep the party alive. And so that for me was like an area of improvement.
You mentioned, like how excellent Beyonce is, and we all know, like, we can't take that away from Beyonce, but I also, the Beehive, and if you want, they're just gonna hate me, you're gonna hate me, but I did kind of think there were moments that felt subdued in
Mm.
terms of the performance. Like, I know that, like, she had an ankle injury,
Mm-hmm.
um, but it did feel like, and I've never ever seen this from any Beyonce show. Like
Mm.
we went to the Miss Carter show together. Obviously, we all watched the Coachella. We've seen Beyonce performances, but I've never thought, oh, she's done this arrangement so she can catch her breath,
Yeah,
or she's not. She like it's never felt like that. She's always been like
high
what's the word?
octane,
Yeah,
high
always
energy,
like toe to toe. Is it toe to toe?
head to
Is
toe.
that the same? Head to toe with the dance. She's always been head to toe with the dancers. Like it's never,
Oh,
you
toe
know,
to
the
toe with
dance.
the dancers. No, that's the same. Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah, yeah.
yeah. She's always been toe to toe with the dancers. Like she's never. The dancers are never doing anything more intricate than no. Like Beyonce is literally doing the exact same motherfucking choreography while singing, while in heels, while
Yeah.
this time it didn't. I saw there was a bit of reservation. There was a bit of okay. I'm gonna just stay on the stage a little bit and do a two step. And
I
I've
saw
never
that
seen
too,
that
and
before.
I totally agree. And I say the only reason why I'm not taking off points for that is because I know about her injury, and I just know the level of performer that she is usually. And maybe I am being biased, maybe I'm being too kind, but like
You
I
definitely are
can't.
being right.
I saw that. I saw her doing like a two step while the dancers were dancing around her. I saw that quite a bit throughout the show, and I did kind of feel like you're not a machine. Like it's okay to have this type of performance sometimes. Like, and one thing about it was like, okay, I can't dance, I can't do the high kicks and the splits and whatever, but you're gonna get these vocals, and so she gave the best performance where she could give it, and so I think not just you and Eva, like I think like people can forget that she is a human being at the end of the day, and the amazing caliber of performance that she constantly brings takes so much out of her physically, and so for her to still give that level of performance with an injury, I was conscious of it throughout the whole time. I could see, for example, when she did like Plastic Off the Sofa when she was lying down. Obviously, it's not a very like dancey song anyway,
Mm.
but I could just say that yeah, you have incorporated moments into the show where you could just rest a little bit, and I'm not sorry about that. Like I get it. So I do agree that yes, it could have been 1,000 times better if she was doing a backflip with the dancers who did a backflip or whatever. And like we've seen her do that level of performance because so we know she's capable of it. But I'm just gonna give her a little bit of leeway because you're getting older and you're the mother of three and you have a injured ankle. Like we can't, yeah. So I get it.
Okay, I hear that, but guys, if you've been with us, I'm gonna rewind a little bit to Rihanna Super Bowl
Different.
because you. No, it's not. You were cussing. How could you're pregnant? I don't care if you're pregnant. I
Look,
don't
I
care if you just
completely
had a
different because
baby.
no,
Nope.
no, we're gonna get into it. We're gonna get into it
Nope.
because the level of performance that Beyonce gave, even with a broken ankle, was not something Rihanna could do 10 years ago. Not pregnant, completely able. Like no, so we're not gonna do that. Rihanna didn't just like stand there and be pregnant and what. No, I wasn't saying that I expected her to do massive choreography. I was just saying that she seemed very subdued in her attitude. Like Beyonce never seemed like she didn't want to be there at times. Rihanna looked bored at times. That's and you said this as well. You can go back to the episode. Rihanna looked bored at times. There were times where it's like we're not asking you to put your leg up behind your head, but if you're gonna do the or whatever it is, do it with some conviction. Like that's got nothing to do with pregnancy. And
Okay.
so no, 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 no,
I
no,
just thought I would try and call you out.
no, no. Period.
But this does sound. This will probably be my last negative because it sounds like I had a lot of negatives. But I just knew. I did have like this expectation of a Beyonce show because the Miss Carter show was just so out of this world. It really was so amazing, and this show was really great too. It was.
Mm-hmm.
But going back to the set list, and this is something that could have. I just found it was kind of lazy, actually. Like the fact that. And you, again, Khalifa, like, we've got this on document, so if you want to, like,
No, I'm
backtrack,
listening
you
to you. I'm
can.
just waiting for you to make your point.
But you said, because I think we were talking about Paramore,
Mm-hmm.
I think I was like, I kind of want them to do all the songs from the new album. You were like, I don't think so. I don't really want that.
Mm.
Let's not do that. Let's switch it up.
Yeah.
Um, Beyonce pretty much did do that. She performed every song apart from two, which like she knows that thick and all up in your mind. Like she knows those aren't those are
No.
not the ones. We all
If
know.
we're gonna
So
act
fair. Like,
any, it's gonna be those. Yeah.
so fair. And she performed all the songs. We loved them. Great. But it was so boring. It was literally chronological. That's boring. It's lazy.
Yeah, I wouldn't say it's boring, but it is
Yeah,
lazy.
it's not like the show. It wasn't boring, but I just thought it was lazy. Like,
Yeah, it was a lazy choice. I agree with that. I think the set list could have been more creative in order to consider, like, okay, what is the viewer's perspective? How are they going to feel when they walk out of here? Like I said at the beginning, Summer Renaissance didn't give us that. So regardless of whether it works at the end of an album, it does. It just feels like such a easy breezy send off. Like it's a great finisher on the album. But for a show, you need a crescendo. As part of the Kal and Lak criteria, you need a big, confetti
it
moment.
should have
And
been
this
break my soul or cuff it. Break my soul or
100%.
cuff it.
You got to make us wait for a song that we really want to hear. Not just we as in the Beehive, but most of the people here are waiting to hear "Break My Soul" or "Cuff It," and you got to leave one of those to like the very last. So it's like finally, and then it leaves everybody with a ha, and you didn't do that. And I do agree that that was a lazy choice and a poor choice. And so, yeah, I'd say I'm going to be totally frank. Like I had the time of my life. It was amazing. It was the tour that I expected for this show in terms of the look and the feel. It really did like feel like the Renaissance era. It kind of cemented it in my mind what the Renaissance era was. Like I kind of get it even more now. At the same time, though, of all of those Beyonce shows I've been to, my least favorite.
I've only been to the two, the Miss Carter and this one, and this was my least favorite. But what you've just said about cementing like what the album means, absolutely. Oh
Yeah.
my God, I have an even more of an appreciation for the Renaissance album now. I just get it. I get it. It felt,
Yeah.
even though it didn't end on the song that it should have, and like, I get it. I understood it. I saw it. Even from everyone in the theme, it just felt
Mm.
like this party, like you've said, like this
Yeah, a
celebration.
party and also like homage. Like
Yeah.
she paid homage to Uncle Johnny, but also like what Uncle Johnny represented, which is like blackness, which is gayness, which is like flamboyance, which is like, Renaissance is all about a specific era of music, like
Mhm.
late 70s to early 90s. And that era is so defined by gay culture. And it's kind of always been swept over. Like, oh no, you had all the great men and the great women, but actually, no,
Mm.
you had a lot of great gay women and lot of great gay men who were pioneering and making house what it is today. And she was like, I'm going to remember them. We were even talking about it on the way home, actually, me and my mom, about there was a section that she did. It was like about house, and it's like in the beginning there was Jack, and that's such a, I don't know, like if you're a house fan, you've heard that before. It's such an iconic like opening
Yeah.
segment for house songs. Just the decision to include that, it was like,
Mhm.
I'm going to give you guys a bit of an education
Yeah.
into this genre and where it comes from and all of the people who are crucial to it.
Yeah.
And I think, yeah, that's what the Renaissance album is about. But it just made it so clear in this show, and I'm very, very thankful for that. So yeah, it was amazing.
It was
Even on her
absolute
worst day, the queen is the queen. Don't play with me.
period, like period. I think my first highlight was definitely like seeing you just like living to Black Parade, but we have to talk about Heated because
Right.
yeah, we have to talk about Heated.
So Heated is my favorite song on the album. Heated was so good. Like the thing about Heated is like it would have been easy to get wrong. If she didn't give the energy that the Heated song has, then it would have been flat. She had to have been just as excited, just as and all of that as the song is. And she absolutely was. I was there with my fan me up. I'm hot, 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 girl. And the thing is, she even admitted to like, I'm not really great at the lyrics. You guys know it better than me, so help me out. She stumbled a little bit. It didn't matter. It didn't matter. We needed the energy, and she gave the energy that was needed to be gave. It was so good.
It was amazing. First of all, she's in this like bodysuit, this like gold, just perfect. She just looks amazing with hands and
Mm.
she looks fantastic. She looks amazing. And she admits she's like, this is my favorite song on the album, so let's get into it. And obviously, because we know what's coming next, it's in chronological order. It's like, oh my god, it's Hated! Wow! It was like like my favorite song that she did. Like the performance was everyone, And I don't think everyone knew the song, but how could you not like get into it? The attitude she was giving, everyone was giving, it was
Mm.
oh my god! And at the end, like so good, so good.
Absolutely. She really did knock it
Mhm.
out of the park with that one. And as you said, like whether you are a fan of the song or not, everybody enjoyed it. So perfect, perfect. That
Absolutely.
could have been the second to last song. It should have been. That should have been the second to last song, followed by Break My Soul. So Beyonce, you got the US leg of the tour coming up. If you need any support, any guidance, any consultancy with the set listing and like, some ideas, Kal and Lak, like we're here,
Yeah,
we love you, and especially me, and we're happy to help. Like, just consult with us because we know what we're talking about. We have the criteria. It's tried and tested,
yeah.
proven. Period. Just call on us.
I also want to point out that I called it again, had no idea, but I called that there was going to be like a pure honey slash blow mixer. Like I said that they needed to be, and when I
Yeah,
heard like little elements of blow, I was like, oh, oh my god, I
yeah.
said
You
it.
did that. You did that. He absolutely called that, and it was so perfect.
Yeah,
It fit seamlessly. It was like it was meant to be.
that was another great moment.
It
Again,
was.
everyone's on board. 'Cause I think we just had America before that.
Yeah. And
Yeah,
America Has a Problem is a jam, and I'm so glad that everybody finally starts to appreciate it. I remember when the album first came out, and it's one of the lowest streamed
yeah.
songs, and I was like, "What? Like this is one of the best songs on the album." But then I don't know what's happened. Like if there's memes or TikToks that I'm not aware of, but it's become like a really popular song. We've had a Kendrick remix as well, so
Which
I'm
is
so
sick.
glad she did that.
Yes.
Everybody really enjoyed it as well. But yeah, that was a really great moment. Yeah.
What were your overall feelings from the show? Like, how did you feel? You saw your fave, you were in like a fantastic outfit. How did you feel? Like,
I felt elated. I really did. Like it felt like really communal. It really did feel like I was celebrating with the whole community that was there. There were thousands of people in this massive stadium, and it felt like we were all having a party. And so, yeah, I felt absolutely amazing. What about yourself?
I loved it. Like, just singing every song, just like amazing. And
Hmm.
again, because I've said this to you, I don't know what happened with this album. Like I'm a lyric guy, everyone know I love lyrics, but this album I just didn't learn the lyrics. After my
Mm.
first initial play with my first initial listen to the album when I had the lyrics, I didn't go back. So I had to like cram the lyrics in like before we were
Studying.
I literally had my homework like I was studying so hard. And just being able to just like be there and sing and just have a good time and the party didn't end. It just felt so good. Like I had such a great time. I really enjoyed myself. Like Cozy was another moment for me where I'm just like, I love this song. Hearing
Mm.
Diva, like, come on. Formation, amazing. Amazing.
Amazing.
Amazing.
Amazing. Absolutely that. And I guess to end it on a positive, I mean, it's only right that I take it away, right?
Oh no 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 no! We need to rate the show out of five.
Of
Out of
course,
five, what, out of 10?
out of 10. We've always done
Okay.
out of 10. So out of 10, I'm going to give it a 7.8. Yeah. You know me, Lakaya, I'm honest. And some might say that out of the two of us, I'm probably the most critical. But I have high expectations of Beyonce. And this show was great. It was definitely like 7 and above 100%, but there were things that could have been tweaked that would have easily made it a 10, like easily, even without her, even with her broken ankle.
Mhm.
There were things that she could have done that would still have made this feel like a party non-stop, and she missed the boat on that. Or not even just she, I'm not going to put it all on her, the team or whatever. So a high 7, that's what I'm going to give, 7.8.
I really, I didn't think you'd be that honest, to be honest.
I'm getting better. Look, I'm growing up.
I didn't think you'd be that honest, but truthfully, it's gonna be a 7 for me, and that's really
Yeah.
not taking anything away from the show. We
Mm.
left because we were screaming like, oh my gosh, love on top. The crowd would have kept going to like the fucking next
Whistle tones.
mistletoes, like we
We
all.
were, we would have kept going forever. Like if she could have just walked off the
She
stage,
had
we
to
would have
stop
kept.
us. She
Yeah,
literally had to stop us because we were ready. Like moments like that, the
bring it.
voguing section, like oh my gosh, like the voguing moment. What I can't was that at the end of Heated or Pure
Um,
View?
the voguing moment. I can't remember the song.
Let's. I
But
think
yeah,
it.
it was so
Yes,
good. I know
it's
it was
out.
Honey Balenciaga.
Yeah.
He was like the girl at the end who came through and just fucked shit up. Like shut the shit down. She's like, okay, you guys have your little moment, but like here I come.
But the thing
She
is, we've all seen this before. We've all seen moments, when the artist has gone backstage to change or whatever, and they've put the band on to do whatever, and they've put dancers on, and that's fun. Like I'm always cheering. But this for the album, for the Renaissance tour, for the what it means. Oh my god, it just was. It was beyond. It was perfect. It was everything.
yeah.
It was like everyone just like leaned forward to just cheer to like yes, yes queen, yes
Yes.
bitch. It was so needed. It was perfect. We all
Hmm.
loved it. We all loved that moment. I feel like yeah, even if you were a straight guy that's never been to a drag show, never doesn't know what voguing is, you were literally like yes
You were
bitch.
living. You were
You were
living. You were doing it all. Yeah, you had to be. It was just good vibes and yeah, just transcendent. Like you don't have to know the
living.
genre to get into that. That was amazing.
It was, but it was the show overall was a 7. I was a little bit disappointed. Like you said, the broken or twisted ankle, whatever. That's fine. But there were elements that could have been thought out with
Mm.
everyone's perspective. But I want to say quickly, I do applaud Beyonce for taking Halo out the set list, for taking Single Ladies out the set list. Like, yeah,
It's bold. We're talking about two of her biggest songs, and ultimately, not everybody who's going to this show is a massive Beehive fan. Probably 3% of the people who are going to see the show will know the lyrics of Black Parade. So to take out massive songs like Halo and Single Ladies and say, no, I'm going to do what the show needs, that's a big, bold
it is.
statement. And I think like what we're seeing over and over again, we talked about this when the Renaissance album came out, but like with everything Beyonce does now, it's just like more and more confident. Like you're not doing things to try and please people anymore. It's very much like, no, I'm in my 70s, 80s disco bag. I'm gonna make a 70s, 80s album.
Yeah. It's
It's like
really
take
great.
it or
It's
leave
like
it.
it's very like brave, and I love to see that.
Mm.
I don't know if you felt this, but I kind of felt like it didn't feel like a goodbye. I don't know how to word it. It kind of felt I don't know, like there was a lot of references to her like her whole career
Mm.
that we've not necessarily seen before in other shows. Like, we saw clips from like Bootylicious, we saw clips from the self-titled album from B-Day. I was wondering, like, why, like, she felt the need to include that. Is this like a farewell moment, or is it
Mm.
just like I don't know?
I definitely don't think it's that. So I know that Renaissance is part one of a trilogy. So we're gonna have more like this. She's back. Like she's not going and doing hiatus for 7 years. That's not gonna be it. I think it was very much trying to show how much this has influenced different parts of her career. I think she was trying to show that like this has always been in me, and that I
Okay,
haven't made this music like for my whole career, but I've always like had a bit of camp. I've always had an outfit that Uncle Johnny made for me. Like there's always been
okay,
this.
yeah,
I think it was more that just like you can see the references of this tour, this era
okay,
in my
yeah,
entire career. I think that was the point.
yeah. Fair. Well, you've said it's a 7.8, so I guess we're gonna go with that.
Yeah, no, that's what it is. And if I obviously I might change my mind after a couple more weeks, but I think that's a really fair. I think that's a fair rating. And
Yeah.
again, it doesn't take anything away. I had an amazing
No, no,
time.
no,
I'm
absolutely.
really, really looking forward to see what she does for the rest of the trilogy because we need some fucking visuals now. Like it's actually getting me annoyed. As a deep fan, we need some visuals. Stop playing with me. So
But I do love when she was like that little interlude where she's like the what was it the Queen or Mother will let you like eat when she's ready. I'm like, you know
yeah,
what? Like,
the spoon feeding little teaspoons of like
if you've got a spoon, then like okay, when she's
exactly.
ready. And I'm like, that's such a. I think that really encapsulates actually this whole Beyonce moment. It's like she's
Mm,
doing things on her terms, and like you'll
a
get
hundred
visuals if she
percent.
wants to give you visuals, and when she's ready. So I guess we're
It's
just gonna have to.
ultimate confidence. Exactly. And so, yeah, amazing. Well, no, it's amazing to hear your thoughts. Thank you so much for coming all the way to London to experience this with me. I am so glad that we went together because we
Yes.
always have a good time with everything anyway. But like this to do together was so special. And so, without further ado, me. Sorry, I do have a bit of a cold, so please excuse me.
Yep.
And that's why you're tuned in. That's why you're tuned in.
Love it. Love it.